Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Kevin. I'm here with another video of Convict2Citizen. Tonight we will be talking about the differences between doing time in state prison and doing time in county jail. I'll be talking about the top 3 differences as well as a few other differences at the end of the video. Just so you know, I'm not on bullshit. I did do time from 2013 to 2016. I did 4 or 5 months in Waukesha County Jail. Then I did do some time. I went from Dodge to Red Granite. I did about 2 years in Red Granite. I went from Red Granite to Portage, about 5 months there. And then I finished my time out at Chippewa. I got released from the ERP program in September of 2016. Again, this is your place to come to with questions or comments about life in prison and life after getting out of prison for a convict who wants to start his life over. All right, here we go. Let's get this thing started, baby. All right, the first thing I'm going to be discussing is the differences in your state of mind from when you're in county and prison. So, when you're in county, your state of mind is generally poorer when you are in county versus when you're in prison. You're definitely in a better mood, and there's many reasons for this. When you're in county, you may not know exactly how much time you have left to do. You may, be in there on appeal hold. You may be waiting to go to court to get sentenced. You may have just gotten arrested. You haven't gone to court yet, so you don't really know what's going on. The most you can do in the county jail is 1 year. So that, at the max, you're going to be doing a year. While as in prison, you can do multiple years or life. But I do still think prison has the upper hand here, because in prison you do know that no matter what, you are going to be getting out every day. You have, one less day to do. And I mean, overall, prison is a lot nicer. So for those reasons, I would have to go with prison on that. People aren't generally in the best mood for many reasons. They just had their freedom taken away from them. They could be dope sick. They just got arrested. They're missing out on things in their life, and they just got, taken away from this. While as in prison, you're generally in a better mood because, you have a lot more personal freedoms afforded to you. By the time you are at your first joint, you have a period of sobriety. So, your point of view of things is a lot differently because you are sober. So another thing is, when you're in county, you are missing out on your family, which can contribute to, a really poor mood, especially if you have a child and you're not able to be there. Also, you're losing out on money from, if you're working. If not, losing your job, you're definitely losing out on money and you're not able to support your family. Whereas in prison, although you are missing out on your family, you're able to get face-to-face visits. Also, you can get like a state prison job where you do get paid a little bit of money. It may be like 20, 30, 40 bucks at most every other week, but when you don't have a whole lot, 20, 30 bucks actually does help. And also, you can make things like cards you can send to your kids. You can make them like little teddy bears you can send to your kids. There's a lot of things you can do to show your kid that you still care. So while you're on county, you are not able to use. So you could be a total jackass. You could be dope sick, or, you could just be not used to being sober, so you're not the nicest person. Whereas in prison, you do have a period of sobriety, and you're past the dope sick part. So, you're starting to become more yourself, which really can change your mood, obviously. So yeah, I mean, when you're in county, another thing is you're missing out on things in your life that you may have planned from before you had gotten locked up, and you're also missing out on important things in your child's life. Whereas in prison, yes, you're missing out on things, but hopefully by the time you have gotten to your first joint, you have a period of sobriety, and you may be working on positive things to do like maybe getting some sort of education or learning a trade or getting certified in something to give you some positive things for when you do get out. In county, there's nothing really like that. Um, yeah, I mean, the big difference is when you're in county, you almost can't help but think about all the things you're missing out as well. You know, in prison, yeah, you're missing out on things, but you have a lot more stuff, a lot more things to do to keep yourself occupied, which definitely helps the time go by. Um, for me, after about a year, I was sober enough to realize, like, hey, I gotta start working on myself. I've destroyed my body and my mind so many years. I need to really start working on me if I really want a different life and a better life for when I get out. So I started to really work on myself. Everybody's different, but that's just what worked for me. The next thing I would like to talk about is personal freedoms when you're in prison versus when you're in county. When you're in county, doing county time is generally harder doing county time, just because you don't have a lot of freedom, while as in prison you have a lot more personal freedoms, and those little freedoms that you do have really do add up. In county jail, you don't really get much rec. You don't really get out of your unit. You're kind of stuck there. You don't really get to leave. While as in prison, you do get to leave. You can go to inside rec, outside rec, weight room, library, property, church. There's a whole bunch of different things you can do. Another thing is when you're in county jail, you can't wear any personal clothing and you can't have any personal items that you may want to order. While as in prison, you're able to have your own clothing, like a prison jumpsuit, sweats, t-shirts, underwear. So, I mean, that in itself really helps your time. You're also able to order like a TV, a radio, cards, little games to play, a bunch of different things you can order that are pre-approved. You can't order anything like that while you're in county. When you're in the county jail, you have a single cell and you're stuck in your housing unit, like I said, for most of your time, while as in prison, you're celled up with another inmate and you're able to come and go from your room as you see fit. There's no real lockdown. I mean, at night, you technically can't leave your room unless you're going to the bathroom, but yeah, I mean, it's a whole lot better. The only thing that's pretty much the same in Waukesha County Jail and prison is that you do have hot water and also a microwave if you want to cook, but the cost of things in the county versus prison is exponentially higher in county, and if you don't have a whole lot of money, you're not going to be eating a whole lot. One other thing that makes a big difference from when you're in county versus prison is in county, your visits are over video, while as in prison, it's face-to-face, and you're also able to get stuff from the vending machines, and I mean, it makes a big difference when you can actually see them, and the times of the visits are actually longer. You have at least 2 hours, if not more, while as in county, I think it's only 45 minutes if you're in an actual pot. So to recap, it basically comes down to you have a lot more freedoms when you're in prison versus county. If you had to choose, I definitely would choose prison over county just for the fact that I'm going to be more comfortable. So I think the third difference that I'm going to discuss is definitely going to be cost of living and the cost of commissary. The cost of living while you're in county jail is definitely higher than when you're in prison. In county, you're not able to go get a job and help put money on your books, while in prison, you automatically get about $4 every other week. And if you decide to get a job, you can make anywhere between 10 and 30 or 40 bucks. If you go to school, you get paid for that as well. Every little bit does help when you don't have a whole lot of money. Overall, the cost of living is kind of ridiculous when you're in county. I mean, like canteen, like every item is about $1. So basically like $20 in county lasts you about a week, whereas in prison, $20 can last you, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks if you really hustle with it or budget your money correctly. Yeah, I mean, it's it's crazy how much stuff is more expensive when you're in county versus prison, and it's the same stuff. So there's really no reason that it's a crazy like 5 times more expensive. It just doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, if you don't really have any money when you're in county, you're definitely going to be hungry. While as in prison, you're probably not going to be too hungry. And I mean, people are going to be willing to like sell a tray like a lot cheaper, like 20, maybe 50 cents, versus in prison or in county, they're going to sell them for $1, $2 maybe, just because everything costs more when you're actually in county. So the prices for a few things while you're in county jail, like a ramen is $1.05, Cheetos are $1, a meat log is like $4 or $5, a little packet of peanut butter, which is a single serving, is like 50 or 60 cents. A bag of popcorn is $1.35, and a bag of coffee is about $4 or $5. And the same items, when you're in prison, ramens are 22 cents, Cheetos are 42 cents, a bag of pickles, something you can't really get in county, is 40 cents, a jar of peanut butter, a whole jar, is $2.50, a bag of popcorn is 35 cents, $1 cheaper, and a bag of coffee is about $2.50. So in addition to things I already discussed, other things that are drastically different are visits, dealing with other inmates. In county, people aren't in the best of moods, so whereas in prison, people are generally in a better mood, so it's easier to deal with them. Sunlight, county versus prison, you get no sunlight in county, you get a lot of sunlight whenever you really want it when you're in prison. Overall quality of living, prison definitely has the upper hand here. Program availability, again, prison has the upper hand here. There's really no programs in county besides getting your HSED. The only thing that county might have the upper hand on is good time. There is no good time when you're in prison. The only good time, I guess you could kind of say, is kind of like good time is getting early release from boot camp or ERP. And of course, I wouldn't choose to go back to jail or prison, but if I had to choose one, I would definitely choose prison, just because I would have, an easier, more comfortable time. I have more freedoms. Just overall, you're going to be in a better mood there. So, I mean, do we need prison reform? Yes. Is the prison system perfect? Absolutely not. I mean, there definitely is a lot of work that needs to be done. The thing is, like in the early 90s, what happened was we had the Truth in Sentencing Act, and in that Truth in Sentencing, at least in Wisconsin, that got away with parole. So what Truth in Sentencing was every judge had to give a mandatory minimum sentence for every set of crimes. So if you committed a robbery, you had to do 5 years, or if you were a drug dealer, you had to do 6 or 7 years automatically. You couldn't get any less time. So, that was the beginning of our mass incarceration problem. And, it's very interesting because Tommy Thompson actually built a lot of the prisons, and if you listen to any of the interviews that he has now, he will actually say that was a mistake. So, I mean, right now we are definitely in the midst of a real problem that we're having with our community and our society, and we definitely need to do something different. If you look at other countries or places, sometimes they decriminalize, sometimes the cops are treating addicts or criminals differently. Instead of just locking them up, they're trying to give them rehab. People can say, giving Narcan is definitely, enabling, but, somebody can't really go get help if they're dead. So, I mean, yeah, you are enabling them, but you're also enabling them to be able to go get help when they choose. You can't force somebody to get help, but you can give them help when they do ask for it. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, please go ahead and leave a like. Leave a comment. If you want to leave a comment, I'll definitely reply. I hope you guys are doing well. Again, please share this video. I just want to get the message out. I hope you guys have a great day. Drive safe. It's kind of crazy out there right now. Stay classy, stay sober, and enjoy yourself. All right, I'm out, guys.